Alrighty guys, welcome back to another case study. Now this case study is going to be for a product that did $220,000 in just 20 days. You can see on the left hand side, that screenshot is taken directly from my store and that did generate 146,000 US dollars, which is approximately 220,000 Australian dollars. So let's get right into the case study. Before we start, I want to quickly mention that you guys did enjoy the layout and style of my previous case studies, and so this case study will be a similar style to those ones because I did in fact receive so much positive feedback on the previous case studies. So let's get right into the video. There's going to be a number of things we're going to cover in today's case study. The first thing is going to be the store results. So I'll take a deeper dive into the store results, store design, the winning product, Facebook ads, launch strategy, scaling, automation, ad account overview, and also the profit margin. Now, most people don't cover the profit margin, but I'll take a deeper dive into my profit margin. I'll tell you how much profit I made exactly, and also what the expenses were, just so you have a rough idea. For this case study, it's going to be straight to the point. I'm going to show you guys everything because I want you guys to have a clear understanding of what I did and how I did it. So let's get straight into it. The first thing we'll cover is going to be the store results. You guys can see that in the middle screenshot, that was just a screenshot from my phone and that just covered the total sales. So the total sales for the store was 146,226.11 USD, which equates to just over 220,000 Australian dollars. Now on the left hand side, that screenshot is a daily screenshot. So you can see that's going to be for April 26th. And for April 26th, that store, just that one day only, generated 6,201.97 USD. Now this equates to just over 9,000 Australian dollars. You can see bottom left as well, the online conversion rate is about 4%, which is awesome. Now on the right hand side, you can see a weekly screenshot. So that was just a period of 1 week only. So that was just one of the weeks only from the store. And that week in particular did 41,000 in sales. So 41,000 USD, and that is approximately just over 60,000 Australian dollars. And you can see as well, the bottom right, the conversion rate for that week was about 4% as well. Now, if you guys don't know, the average conversion rate for an online e-commerce store is about 2%. So if your conversion rate is above that 2% mark, it means that your store is performing better on average. If you guys have a conversion rate between 3 to 4%, that would be ideal. And obviously, the higher the better. If you guys can manage 4 to 5%, that's going to be even better. But on average, it's about 2%. So as long as you guys have a conversion rate above 2%, then your store is performing better than average. So that is just screenshots of my results. Once again, if you guys have a look at the middle screenshot, so just in a period of about 20 days, the store did generate 146,000 US dollars, which is approximately just over 220,000 Australian dollars. Now the conversion rate for those 20 days, you can see below, is 3.49%, which again is in between that 3 to 4% range, which is awesome. Now that we have covered the results, let's go straight into the store design. Perfect. So this is going to be all about my store design that took a product to $220,000 in sales. So for those that are students, you guys already know step by step how we go ahead and launch a store. We do provide you with our custom theme template that I made personally, so you guys can use that same template. We'll show you how to use AI to make logos, how to choose a professional domain, etc. So we do cover every single thing step by step for you in the program. As long as you guys go through, copy that and replicate it, that will push you on the right track to generating similar results. And also everything I cover within this case study can also be found in the program in a lot more detail, step by step. Perfect, so let's get straight into the store design. Now, the first thing I want to mention is that we focus on niche stores. So we used to only focus on one product stores, but now through thorough testing, we found that niche stores do tend to work a lot better because you can actually in the future launch more products on the same store and utilize your existing customer base and also your pixel to sell your new products. So what you guys want to do is, again, focus on niche stores. However, you want to begin with just one product. And then once you start to make consistent sales, then go ahead and expand your store and then add more products to your store. So again, just begin with only one product. And then once you guys do start to make sales on that one product, then add more products to your website. So for the theme that we used is a custom theme template that I went ahead and edited myself. So if you guys want that, we do include that in the program for you, for our students. Now, for the custom theme template that we provide, that actually allows you to create a minimalistic and professional looking store. That is the best way to go. You don't want to come off as a dropshipping store. If you come off as a dropshipping store, customers will not purchase from you. We are in 2023, and so customers are becoming a lot smarter and they can identify a dropshipping store right away. You have to make sure you come off as a brand, which is why we focus on niche stores. You want it to be simple, very minimal, no flashy pop-ups, because keep in mind, customers have very short attention spans. So if you go ahead and spam customers with too much images, too many photos, too many pop-ups, that's going to overwhelm the customer and they'll just click off the website. So keep things very simple. Now with the store, we also use AI to assist with product photos, to make product photos look a lot more professional. We use AI to make our product descriptions, our ad copies, and a lot more. So we do take into account AI. AI definitely makes the store process so much easier for you. And now that we are in a time where AI can do most of the work, it definitely makes your life a lot easier. Now for the domain name, your domain name has to be based on the niche. So previously we used to go ahead and focus on domain names based around the one product that you're selling, but we actually don't do that anymore because we want to build a long-term brand. And by using a domain based on the niche, we can actually build a long-term brand and introduce more products to our store in the future and sell those new products. Now with the logo, we made the logo using AI as well. So it's a super simple process. We cover this in the program and it takes you guys literally 5 seconds to make a logo that is simple, professional, and looks great. So we definitely recommend to use AI to make the logo. It makes your life a lot easier. For my store in particular, I used a light blue primary color for the top banner, the logo, the add to cart / checkout buttons, etc. So my primary color for the store was light blue. Now, one thing I do recommend to avoid is using red as a primary color. Now, red isn't really a trustworthy color. Generally, you want to focus on the lighter colors, so things like blue or green. You don't really want to go ahead and focus on darker colors, so things like red. You can also use things like orange if you want, that's perfectly fine, or pink or purple, things like that. But I definitely recommend to stay away from red. Red isn't really a good primary color. Generally, for most of my stores that I launch, I tend to use a shade of blue, so either a light blue or a dark blue or something in between, whichever matches my brand the best. I tend to stick to blue as the primary color. Perfect, so now that we've covered just a bit about the store design, let's now discuss the winning product. The product that did generate $220,000 was in the fitness niche. So this store was a fitness niche-based store. Now, this product did comply with the Facebook guidelines. Now, keep in mind, ever since COVID-19, Facebook has been very strict when it comes to fitness products. So things like at-home fitness products, I definitely recommend to stay away because they don't comply with the Facebook policies. However, this product, even though it was in the fitness niche, it wasn't really an at-home fitness product. And so this product did comply with the Facebook guidelines. Now, this product also solved a problem. The problem was portrayed through the video ad, and then in the video ad, I also provided the solutions and why the product should be in the customer's life and why they should purchase it. Now, the product is not easily found in stores. So you couldn't just walk into your nearest shopping center and find the product. Even though the product was found in some stores, it wasn't easily and readily available in all your local stores. So it made it just a bit harder to find it in stores. Now, keep in mind, guys, products that are quite easily found in stores, so things like phone cases or clothing, I generally recommend to stay away from them because you guys can walk into any clothing store these days and find a phone case. You can walk into any technology store and find a phone case. It can also be found in Kmart, in Walmart, etc. So phone cases can be found in almost any stores these days, which is why, as an example, phone cases are a saturated product and I would recommend to stay away from them. Even though this product was found in some stores, it wasn't easily found in stores, which is why I did decide to sell it. Now, the product also had a wow factor, and on Google Trends, there was not much of an uptrend at the time. However, I still tested it. So don't look at Google Trends as a final deciding factor. So don't think to yourself, if the product does not have an uptrend, I can't actually sell it. That is incorrect. This product didn't actually have an uptrend. If anything, it had a slight downtrend. However, it did meet most of the criteria that we discussed in the program. And so this product was one that I decided to test. Now, at the time, there was a few dropshipping stores selling the product, but the engagements on the video ads were very high. And because the engagements on the video ads were quite high, this means customers were interested in the product. There were so many comments on the video ad, there was people tagging friends, there was comments every few minutes or so, and so that was a deciding factor for me to test this product. If it's doing well for someone else, then that product is definitely going to be worth a shot for myself as well. Because keep in mind, on Facebook, no one will spend money on advertising if they're not making consistent sales. Who wants to go through and spend $20, $30, $40,000 in ads if they aren't making any sales? And so because the product did have a high number of engagements on Facebook, there were quite a number of shares, there was a solid amount of likes, comments, views, that was a deciding factor for me to test the product. Now, the next thing I want to cover is the product made the customer's everyday life easier. So that was an important aspect that I focused on my website and also in the video ad. I found the product on the Facebook ad library. So the Facebook ad library is a gold mine. Even though it does take a bit of time to go through and search for different ads and keywords, etc., it is a fantastic place to find products that are doing well in the market. It shows you all the current ads on the Facebook and Instagram platform just to make your lives a bit easier. So yes, this product was found on the Facebook ad library. Now, the pricing. So I priced the product at 3x the AliExpress price. So the price on AliExpress was about $8, and so I did price this product at approximately $24.99. As you guys do know, the price ranges I tend to focus on are between 20 to 50 USD. That is the perfect impulse buy range. I don't usually focus on products above $50 because if you guys do want to sell products above $50, it will cost you just a bit more in advertising to generate a single customer. Just a quick tip as well, that when it comes to the purchase price from the suppliers, I tend to keep the purchase price from the suppliers 25 USD maximum, including shipping. So if the price on AliExpress is above 25 USD including shipping, then I usually won't sell that product. I tend to keep it 25 USD or below, and now this product in particular was around $8 including shipping. And so my selling price was $24.99 USD. Now the product was an item that you may want multiple of. Now this increased the average order value. So customers, when they landed on the product page, they would have wanted multiple of that product. Now because of that, that allowed me to increase my average order value. I did have a discounted pricing application. So when a customer did purchase more than one, they would get a slight discount. So if they purchased 2 items, they would get a 10% discount. If they purchased 3 items, they'll get a 15% discount. And if they purchase 4 items or more, they would get a 20% discount. So this was a product that customers would have wanted multiple of. And so that is why that discounted pricing was very effective for this product. Now, at the time of choosing the product, there was approximately 500 to 2,000 orders for the product on AliExpress per supplier, which wasn't too bad at all. Generally, if there's 5,000 orders for multiple different suppliers, let's say if there is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 suppliers on AliExpress that have over 5,000 orders, then I'll probably say that product is a bit saturated. But on AliExpress, for each supplier, there was between 500 to 2,000 orders, and so that was another reason as to why I did select this product. Now that we've covered the product, the next thing I want to cover is going to be the Facebook ads launch strategy. So the Facebook ads launch strategy consisted of 2 campaigns. So now we do things a bit differently to what we did before. So my previous case studies, things have definitely changed because as you know, Facebook is always constantly changing, and also the e-commerce and dropshipping space, it's constantly changing as well. So we have to make sure to adapt to these changes. So what happened was for the Facebook ads launch strategy, I first launched an engagement campaign, and then after 24 hours, I turned off the engagement campaign and began to launch my sales campaign, which is the purchase campaign. Let's cover this in just a bit more detail. The first thing I want to cover is going to be the engagement campaign. So for the engagement campaign, you want to create a new engagement campaign on Facebook and launch 3 ad sets. The first ad set is going to have a budget of $20, and for the devices, select all devices. And you want to focus on only Facebook and IG feed for the first ad set. The second ad set is going to have a budget of $10, again, devices, all devices. And for this particular ad set, so ad set number 2, you want to focus on the Facebook feed only as the placement. Now for ad set number 3, again, it's going to have a budget of $10, devices, all devices, but this one will focus primarily on IG feed only. So just a quick recap for ad set number 1, a budget of $20, and the placements for that ad set are going to be both Facebook and Instagram feeds. For ad set number 2, $10, Facebook feed only, and for ad set number 3, $10, Instagram feed only. For the engagement campaign, the locations, you want to focus on e-packet countries. For the age, select all, so keep it very broad, 18 to 65 plus. For the gender, that's going to be based around your product. If you guys have a female product, only select on females. However, if the product is for both genders, just make sure to focus on male and female. I'll keep it broad, so both male and female, and I'll let Facebook decide on who it wants to show my ads to. Now, the interests. So for the engagement campaign, you want to stack 10 to 15 interests with large audiences. So in the one ad set, for example, ad set number 1, you want to have 10 to 15 interests with large audiences in that one ad set. Now for expand interest, turn expand interests off. Optimization for ad delivery, you want to select on post engagements, and then after the engagement campaign has launched, only give it 24 hours, and after 24 hours, turn off the engagement campaign. So the engagement campaign only should be running for 24 hours only, just to build up a bit of social proof at the very start, and then once you do build up a bit of social proof within the 24 hours, then turn off the engagement campaign, as that will no longer be needed. Now, the next thing I want to cover is going to be the sales campaign. So this is where you actually start to make sales. You won't make sales with the engagement campaign, you will only make sales with the sales campaign. So for the sales campaign, again, launch it 24 hours after the engagement campaign. So what you want to do is create a new sales campaign. I also want to quickly mention, for the sales campaign, we do use sales and conversions interchangeably here. So if you do hear me say conversions, then I mean sales and vice versa. So first things first is you want to create a new sales campaign. Now the budget for each ad set in the sales campaign is going to be $5.01. Now the reason why we include the 1 cent is because Facebook is a bidding system, and so you want to have that edge above everyone else. And that 1 cent definitely does help in my experience and through my testing. So definitely just increase the budget slightly. Instead of $5, make it $5.01. There's going to be no need to do 502, 503, just keep it 501, as a majority of people only keep it $5. Now for locations, again, you want to focus on e-packet countries. So e-packet countries are the best way to go. For ages, it's going to be all ages, 18 to 65, keep it very broad. The gender, again, it's going to be based around your product. For my product in particular, it was both male and female, so I selected both of them. Now for the interest, so for each ad set, you want to have one interest with a very large audience. So unlike the engagement campaign where we had 10 to 15 interests in the one ad set, for the sales campaign, we will only have one interest with a very large audience in that ad set. Advantage detailed targeting, turn that off. Placements, you want to focus on Advantage Plus placements. Now before, we used to only focus on Facebook and Instagram feeds, but now that is not the way to go. You want to select all placements and let Facebook do the work for you. So for placements, make sure to select Advantage Plus placements. One thing you'll notice is that with this new strategy and update, we tend to keep things very, very broad, and we let Facebook do all the work for us. The optimization for ad delivery, select on conversions, and for the sales campaign, you want to launch 10 to 15 ad sets. So 10 to 15 ad sets, let's say if you launch 10 ad sets at $5, it's going to be approximately $50. If you launch 15 ad sets at $5, it's going to be approximately $75. Now for the sales campaign, let it run for a full 48 hours where it does spend the full budget. So each ad set in the 48 hours has to spend $10. So it's going to be $5 times 2 gives you $10. So each ad set within a 48-hour period has to spend $10. If it doesn't spend $10, just let it run for a bit longer. If it does spend $10, then from there decide to kill or scale your product depending on the number of sales you have achieved. So now that we covered the Facebook ads launch strategy, I now want to cover scaling. So how did I scale this product from 0 to 220,000 in sales? Let's get straight into this. So as soon as your sales campaigns run for 48 hours and you generate at least one sale, you can now begin to scale. So in that time of your sales campaign running, if you have generated at least one sale, you can now begin to scale. So after the 48 hours is completed, on day 3 of conversions or the sales campaign, you want to launch another 10 to 15 new ad sets by horizontally scaling. So the budget for each ad set again is going to be $5.01. On day 3 as well, you want to turn off any ad sets that have spent $10 and made no sales. As an example, let's say if you made 2 sales within 48 hours of sales. Now, what you want to do is after the 48 hours is completed, go ahead and turn off every single ad set that has spent $10 and made no sales, and from there just launch 10 to 15 new ad sets. You want to focus on horizontal scaling first. So my personal favorite way of horizontal scaling is finding new interest. This way you are constantly testing new audiences. So whatever is making sales, let's say using the previous example, we've made 2 sales, duplicate those 2 ad sets, and from there find new interest based on the interests that are currently working in those 2 ad sets. Now, once you have 5 profitable ad sets, you are now ready to launch your first CBO campaign. And CBO just stands for Campaign Budget Optimization. You want to have a minimum of 5 ad sets in a CBO. I don't recommend having below 5 ad sets in a CBO. Keep it 5 ad sets minimum. Ideally, 5 to 10 ad sets works the best. CBOs are a fantastic way of scaling, and the budget for the CBO is going to be $50. And then after 24 hours, if the CBO is performing well, you can start scaling if it's profitable. If the CBO is not performing well and it's not profitable, then just go ahead and turn it off. So the CBO spending $50 in 24 hours is all you need to decide whether to kill or scale that particular CBO. Every day after the 3rd day of conversions, be sure to launch 10 to 15 new ad sets plus new CBOs. So you want to constantly be launching new ad sets and CBOs almost daily. Be sure to turn off any ad sets that have spent $10 and made no sales, or ad sets that are below your break-even ROAS. Do this daily. If something is not making sales or if something is not profitable, make sure to turn it off. There's no reason to let it keep running. You want to vertically scale any ad sets that are performing very well. So ad sets with a high ROAS and 2+ sales, you can vertically scale those ad sets. And by vertically scaling, it just means to duplicate the ad set and double the budget. I want to quickly just jump back to CBOs. So for the CBOs that are performing very well, you can scale them through the following 2 ways. The first way is horizontally scale the CBO. So to do this, just go ahead and duplicate the CBO and change nothing. So essentially just relaunch a duplicate of that current CBO, or the second method is going to be to vertically scale the CBO. Now to do this, again, just duplicate and double the budget, very similar to the regular sales campaign ad sets. Now you want to turn off any CBOs that are not profitable or ones that spend $50 and make no sales, as I mentioned previously. So if the CBO spent a full $50 and there's no sales, turn it off and launch a new CBO at a later date. I want to quickly give you guys a quick recap. So essentially, each day after day 3 of conversions, you are launching new interest CBOs and killing anything that is not profitable. So that's just a quick recap that you must know. The next thing is going to be retargeting. You can launch retargeting 7 to 10 days into your conversions or your sales campaign. For lookalikes, you can launch lookalikes about 14 days after your conversions or sales campaign, assuming that it's still profitable and doing well. The next thing I want to cover is just a bit about split testing. So as you guys continue to scale and 3, 4, 5 weeks down the line, we do recommend to begin split testing to introduce new creatives to your customers. Now, the most common forms of split testing include video ads, so you can just get a new video ad made, thumbnails, you can get a new thumbnail made, ad copies, you can change your ad copy for your video ad, or you can just change the first 3 seconds of your video ad, which is known as the scroll stopper. So if you guys don't know, the first 3 seconds of a video ad are the most important. That is what will capture the customer's attention. If the first 3 seconds aren't attention grabbing, customers most likely will not view your video ad. Now, split testing is crucial when you start to get ad fatigue or audience fatigue. So this is when ROAS drops, when scaling, and you're struggling to become profitable. So usually approximately a few weeks into your sales campaigns on average. So about 4 to 6 weeks or 5 to 6 weeks on average. So once you're scaling heavily and you see that your performance starts to decline and ROAS is dropping, that is when you want to start split testing and introducing new video ads, new creatives, changing the first 3 seconds of your ads, etc. The next thing I want to cover for you guys is a new feature that Facebook did introduce. So this is going to be called Advantage Plus Shopping Campaigns. Using Advantage Plus shopping campaigns are a fantastic way to scale. So these campaigns do all the targeting on the ad set level for you. All you have to do is set your budget and let Facebook take care of the rest. So Facebook does everything for you. So for example, they'll go ahead and do all the interest targeting, the placement targeting. Similar to CBOs, you want to set your first Advantage Plus shopping campaign to $50 and see its performance over 48 hours. So for CBOs, we tend to keep it 24 hours, but for Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, you want to keep it for 48 hours. So over 48 hours, it's going to spend a total of $100. If it's performing well and generating sales, you can scale the campaign by doubling the budget on the Advantage Plus shopping campaign before midnight. So if you guys see that the Advantage Plus shopping campaign is doing very well, just maybe 30 minutes before midnight, just hop into the campaign and double the budget from 50 to 100. And from there, just rinse and repeat the budget process if the campaign is performing well. So if you guys launch it at $100 and that day it still performs very well, then before midnight the next day, set it to $200, etc. So just keep on repeating and rinsing the process for the budget when it comes to the Advantage Plus shopping campaign. This campaign is super simple to maintain. All you have to do is, if it's performing well before midnight, just hop in and double the budget. If it's not performing well, then turn off the campaign. Super simple. Now, the final thing I want to cover when it comes to scaling. So this is going to be the final slide for scaling. So when scaling, it is normal to have a bad day every now and then where your ads just don't seem to perform as well as they did the days before. But do not let this phase you. You want to continue and it should pick up tomorrow. Let's say day 1 conversions, you made 2 sales. Day 2 conversions, you made 2 sales again. Day 3 conversions, you made 3 sales. Day 4 conversions, you made 5 sales. And day 5 conversions, you made 0 sales. Do not let that stop you and don't let it phase you. Having a bad day every now and then is perfectly normal. Just let it run through the very next day and tomorrow that should pick back up. When scaling heavily, you want to avoid payment declines and any payment errors on Facebook because this can ruin your ads optimization and heavily affect your performance. And for this, you want to simply just add a backup payment method. So in case the first payment method does fail, you have a backup which Facebook can use and your ads will not stop running. Just to give you guys a real life example, this has happened to me before in the past. I was spending approximately $7,000 to $8,000 in ads per day, and I did run into a payment decline. And so what happened was all my ads stopped running. And then after I fixed the issue the very next day, the performance did plummet. And that day was very, very unprofitable. And it did take about 2 or 3 days for the ads to actually pick back up. So it does heavily impact your performance. And sometimes your ads may not even recover. So if you do have a payment decline or any payment errors, when you're heavily scaling on Facebook, spending $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a day, those payment errors or declines can actually ruin the entire optimization process and your ads will never be the same. So just double check that you have a backup payment method on Facebook just in case your first payment method does decline. Fantastic. So that is everything about scaling. Now that was kind of an in-depth guide for you guys. Again, we do cover everything step by step in the program, but this is just a very general guideline that you guys should find very, very helpful. Now the next thing I want to cover with you is going to be automation. As you are starting off with just one product, fulfillment is going to be very easy. So once you start scaling, it will be important to outsource some aspects of your business so that way you can focus on the things that generate you money, which is your advertising. So essentially when you guys first start out, you'll focus on doing all the order fulfillment. It really shouldn't take you too long, but then once you start to heavily scale and you're making 20 or 30 sales a day, that's when you want to start to outsource and let the VA take care of order fulfillment for you, take care of customer service, etc. It's going to make your life a lot easier, and that would also give you time to focus on what actually generates the money, which is your advertising. So you can focus on your advertising and let a VA take care of all the heavy lifting for you. Now, you want to hire customer service VAs through Upwork. If you guys don't know what a VA is, a VA stands for virtual assistant. So you can hire VAs through Upwork.com. That's going to be the best website to get VAs from, and they're also super cheap. As I mentioned previously, you can outsource the following tasks. So customer service, things like emails, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, etc., and also order fulfillment. VAs are not that expensive, but they make your life so much easier, and the majority of VAs you can find on Upwork are for approximately $5 an hour. And I'm sure you can also find some for a little bit cheaper if you wanted to, but on average, it's about $5 an hour, and that is very much worth it. So now that we covered most of the nitty and gritty stuff, I now want to get into the Ads Manager overview. What I've done is integrated just a recording of my Ads Manager into the slides, just so this way I don't have to press off the slides, and so everything is organized into this one slideshow. Now, before we start, right, I've just taken a quick screenshot. So this screenshot, I want to quickly mention that Facebook is not always accurate when it comes to tracking your data. So keep that in mind when I start to run through my Facebook Ads Manager. Just as an example, you can see that on the right hand side, we spent a total of $46,000 in advertising for a purchase conversion value of approximately $97,000. So what this means is on Facebook, I went ahead and spent $46,000 and they only tracked a purchase conversion value of $97,000. So another word for purchase conversion value is sales. So Facebook only tracked $97,000 worth of sales, leaving my ROAS at 2.11, which is incorrect because as I showed you guys previously, I did $146,000 in sales. So essentially what this should look like, on the right hand side, it should say amount 46,000, which is correct. But then for the purchase conversion value, instead of saying 97,000, it should say $146,000. And that will give you a much better and accurate ROAS. However, as we know, Facebook is not always accurate. They do tend to under-track your sales and how much you've made. For the amount spent, that is usually always correct. But for the purchase conversion value, that one is always under-tracked, and so it's going to give you a figure a lot less to what you actually made. So let me give you guys the true ROAS, because as we know, Facebook does not always track sales accurately. So my approximate ROAS, which is the accurate ROAS, if I just take my sales divided by the amount spent, that gives me a ROAS of 3.175. So 146,226.21 divided by 46,055.71, and that will give me a ROAS of 3.175. In the column where it does say purchase ROAS, instead of 2.11, the accurate purchase ROAS was in fact 3.175. So that is going to be the accurate ROAS. And what I want to do now is quickly hop into my Ads Manager. So this is a recording I embedded into the slide, and we'll just go ahead and walk through this recording together. Awesome. So the recording is now playing, as you guys can see on screen. Now on the left-hand side, you can see that for my number of campaigns, I launched 143 different campaigns within the 20 days of this store running, which is quite insane. Now, one thing I want to mention as well, again, you can see that the amount spent on the right-hand side says 46,000, and for the purchase conversion value, that says 97,000, which is incorrect, and that amount should actually be 146,000 for a ROAS of 3.175. Now, the next thing I want to mention is because this ROAS here was incorrect and this purchase conversion value was incorrect as well, then these purchase ROAS for individual campaigns and the purchase conversion value for these campaigns will also be incorrect. So do keep that in mind. As an example, this one right here that says it has spent 1,561 to generate 3,717. This figure here would have been higher than 3,717, and therefore this ROAS would have been higher than 2.38. So keep that in mind. What I want to do now is quickly just glide through this recording that I've embedded into this slide and just cover the most important aspects. So in a moment here, I'm going to filter by the amount spent. There we go. And you can see that these campaigns here have spent the most. So the lookalike campaign has gone through and spent $5,233 to generate $10,836 for a ROAS of 2.07. Again, these two figures here should be a bit higher because Facebook doesn't track every sale that comes through. For the conversions campaign, this one has spent $3,404 to generate $6,920 for a ROAS of 2.03. Again, these two aren't correct. They should be a bit higher. And now this one here does say shorts conversions and shorts LLA. The reason for that is because I was testing shorter length video ads, and they tend to work quite well. So these video ads here were around 30 to 40 seconds long maximum, and for this product that tend to work quite well. Usually you want to keep the video ads between 25 to 55 seconds. You never ever want to have a video ad that is more than 55 seconds. That will be too long. Ideally, you want to have a length between 25 to 45 seconds. That's going to be the best way to go. Now, the next one is going to be a CBO campaign. So this CBO campaign has been duplicated, which is why it says number 2. So this one here is a duplicate of one that is performing very well. And this one is at a budget of 100. So I did, in fact, vertically scale this one from 50 to 100. And this one has spent $1,561 to generate $3,719.55 for a ROAS of 2.38. Again, just assume that the purchase conversion value and ROAS should be a bit higher. CBO number 7, this one spent $1,561.25, so very similar to number 1, and this one generated $3,156. The CBO number 5 spent $1,561.24 to generate $3,717, etc. So these CBOs were working quite well for this product, as well as the lookalikes and the sales campaign. They were all performing very, very well. You can see in this column right here, it says purchases. So the lookalikes campaign did generate 296 sales. The conversions campaign generated 187. CBO number 1 generated 104. CBO number 7 generated 88 sales, etc. So these were working quite well. Now, if I quickly just go ahead and breeze through the video again, I'm now going to filter by the ROAS. So you can see the campaigns with the highest ROAS. And usually you guys do know that retargeting, you tend to get a higher ROAS with retargeting because you're going to be targeting customers that are already familiar with your brand. So you can see here that CBO retargeting number 3 at $50, that one spent $582 to generate 2,046 for a ROAS of 3.52, which is fantastic. CBO retargeting number 1, that one spent $783 to generate 2,700 for a ROAS of 3.45. And let me just jump back to the very top. So CBO lookalikes number 12. So in this campaign, I just chucked in the lookalikes that are performing very well. And so this one spent $57 for $247 conversion value for a ROAS of 4.3. Now, if I just go down here, CBO number 2 at $50, this one spent $346 to generate 1,184 for a ROAS of 3.42. So a lot of very good performing campaigns here, which is why I was constantly just launching new CBOs, new sales/conversions, ad sets every single day, also new lookalike CBOs, and also retargeting. So everything was running, everything was performing quite well, and it was quite profitable. If anything that was not profitable, that fell below my break-even ROAS or spent $10 and made no sales, I would turn that off. In that case, I would only end up having campaigns and ad sets that are performing quite well, which is why the ROAS was actually quite decent. Perfect. So the next thing I want to cover is, if I just quickly forward through this video once again, I'm going to filter by the purchase conversion value. This is what actually generated the most sales in terms of conversion value. Now, if I quickly just forward the video once again, so you can just see a whole number of different campaigns and ad sets that I'm just going to filter by here. What I'm going to do now is quickly just pop into the sales campaign, as you can see right here, and I've got a whole bunch of ad sets. So what I'll do now is I'll filter by the amount spent. There we go. So these are the ad sets that I ended up spending the most on. So for aesthetics, I spent $89 to generate 243 for a ROAS of 2.71. For hair care, I spent $88 to generate 353 for a ROAS of 3.99. That one performed exceptionally well. For 24-hour fitness, I spent $69.59 for a purchase conversion value of 117.45. And that one didn't perform too well. It had a ROAS of 1.69, so I did turn that one off after a while. And then you can see here these ROAS, so 2.24, 2.57, 3.32, 4.19. This one here spent $54 to generate 229, and that interest was Toronto Raptors, so that one was doing quite well. Now you guys can see, even though my product was in the fitness niche, I'm not only focusing on fitness interest only. I've got things like hair care. Hair care is not really interest related, but I still have it in there. I've got deal of the day, I've got shopping and fashion. So a lot of interests that are not related to fitness, I'm still going to test, because Facebook, in the end, they will find the buyers for me. that may be interested for my product. Now, keep in mind, if you feel like you're running out of interest, you can always test very broad interests. So things like Netflix, Spotify, iPhone, engaged shoppers, online shopping, very, very broad interests you can also test. Also, interests that aren't directly related to your niche, you can also still test it. So hair care is not related to my fitness product, but I still went ahead and tested it, and that performed quite well. What I'll do here in a second is quickly just open up a CBO for you and show you the ad sets within a CBO. So let me just go into CBO number 1 at $100. And if I go into the ad set section, you can see that I have 10 ad sets in the CBO. So I do always tend to keep my CBOs between 5 ad sets to 10 ad sets maximum. I don't usually go past 10 ad sets. Now, because this one did have 10 ad sets and it was performing quite well and it's been scaled, this one is at a budget of $100 a day, and this one was performing quite well. It's got a ROAS of 2.44. You can see in this ad set, it's got interests such as running, workout, CrossFit, men's fitness, personal trainer, jogging, weight training, aesthetics, and also well-being. The running ad set generated a total of 28 sales. The workout ad set generated 3 sales, CrossFit 2 sales, personal trainer 20 sales, aesthetics 18 sales, weight being 17 sales, etc. This CBO did a total of 99 sales. What I'll do now is I'll go back into another CBO just as another example. So CBO number 5, again, this one had 10 ad sets within the CBO, and you can see that it has spent 1,462 to generate 3,560 for a ROAS of 2.43. Now this one did generate 93 sales in total, and you can see that the interests in this CBO are strength training, running, personal trainer, yoga, weight training, jogging, CrossFit, quality of life, well-being, and they are the interests within that CBO campaign. And now the last thing I want to cover is going to be the lookalike campaign. So I want to quickly just pop into the lookalikes campaign, and you can see here, I am targeting a number of different events, and for lookalikes, I tend to do lookalikes for the top 5 countries. So US, UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, they are the top 5 countries I focus on when it comes to lookalikes. Now for lookalikes, you can see the total number of purchases is 296, while the ROAS is 2.07 for a purchase conversion value of 10,836.32. So lookalikes did perform quite well for this product. And that was just a very quick overview of my ads manager. Now, the last thing I want to cover is going to be the profit margins. So what were the profit margins looking like for a product that generated 220,000 Australian dollars in sales? Everything on the slide is going to be in USD. So total sales, 146,226.21. Total advertising cost, as I showed you in the ads manager, is 46,055.71. The total product cost was 46,880. And now there's other fees as well. So email marketing, SMS marketing, applications in Shopify, Shopify fees, TikTok ads. So I tried TikTok ads, but they didn't really work well for the product. And the total fees were approximately 5,373.84. The GST, which is a sales tax here in Australia, it was 8,107. And that leaves me for a total profit margin of 39,809.66, which is a 27% profit margin. So from the 146,226.21, the leftover profit I had was 39,809.66. Again, that is 27% profit margin. That's after the tax, that's after the fees, the product cost, advertising, etc. So total net profit is 39,809.66. Fantastic. So that is going to conclude this case study video. I hope you guys enjoyed this case study. Again, you guys seem to like the layout and style of my previous case studies, so I decided to use a very similar layout or style. So that's going to be pretty much all from me in this video. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you took something away from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.